This is the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business. Your hosts are Aaron and Mayumi Moeller, owners of 8 companies that run without them, and founders of the LBO Academy. It's your turn to discover how you can own a business that runs without you. Now, here's Aaron and Mayumi.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to Aaron Moeller with a Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business. If you can't listen to this entire show or any other show we've aired, you can always go to lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com and download it there. Today, our guest is Gregory Kovsky. He's an expert on selling companies. He's been the president of International Business Associates for the last 24 years. Gregory has successfully negotiated and purchased the purchase and sale of over 300 privately held companies in Washington, Oregon, Alaska, California, North Carolina, and Massachusetts. Transactions have been completed involving almost every single industry imaginable. This guy is amazing. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy to have him on our show today. We also have my co-host, Mayumi Moeller. She's not only my business partner, but also my partner in life, an amazing woman, a true hustler. And if I didn't have her by my side, I'd never have the success I do. Mayumi, say hi.
Oh, well, thank you, honey. Good afternoon. I'm excited,
Welcome,
Gregory.
welcome.
Thank you.
Because I know this show, I'm going to learn a lot about selling businesses.
Yeah, me and Gregory have been working basically together. He owns his own company, but we've both been business brokers for he's been longer than me. He's like the old man in the industry.
Godfather.
He's the godfather. And
You're
I've learned
kind.
a lot. No, and I've done a few deals with you, and it's always been such a pleasure. You're just awesome, and you're very professional, and you're one of the few guys out there that I really respect and that you know what you're doing. So I wanted to get you on the show.
Yeah.
So if
and
anybody
that's
out there
a compliment from
wants
this guy.
to sell a business, you're the guy.
Yep.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and it's been a pleasure working with you all these years.
You bet.
I know you've had wonderful expertise in transactions in the automotive industry, service industry, and many others.
Yep. So it's a mutual respect, and I like that.
Absolutely.
So let's kind of get into, how'd you become a business broker, Gregory?
It's an interesting story how I became a business broker. I grew up in Oregon, and my father was a veterinarian. And he went through a midlife crisis in his 40s and decided he didn't want to be a veterinarian anymore.
Oh.
And so he hired IBA to sell his veterinary hospital.
Okay, and that's a franchise that you own, right?
Well, it's not a franchise, privately held company.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But I am the owner of the company, and we've been selling businesses in Oregon, Washington, and Alaska since 1975.
Wow.
And so my father was impressed by IBA.
Okay.
During the sale of his hospital. He went off and took a corporate job. I went off to college. I actually was in high school when he sold, and from my perspective, it only meant I didn't need to clean runs and cages anymore. So then I go off to college, pursue my first career, and come back to the Northwest in 1994.
Where'd you go to college?
University of Texas.
Okay.
I'm a Longhorn, studied
All right.
business.
Nice.
And returned to the Northwest, and I didn't know what I wanted to do as the next step of my life. And my father said, you're a salesman by personality. You've got the business and accounting background educationally. You'd be good at selling businesses.
Wow. Your dad introduced you to it.
Yeah, he introduced me.
Because he
so
had
cool.
such a good experience with IBA.
Exactly.
That's great.
And so he introduced me to Bill Osofsky, the founder and owner of the company. And I mentored under Bill and his experienced team of brokers.
Wow.
And emerged as one of the top salesmen of the company.
Nice.
In 1997, I took over management of the Bellevue office. We had expanded from our corporate headquarters in Portland up to Bellevue in 91.
Wow,
And
good move. That was a good move.
It was a well-timed move. And in 97, I took over management of that office. And in 2000, when Bill was ready to retire, he approached me and we reached agreement for the purchase of the company.
Wow. That's a fairy book story right there. I like that.
And you've loved it
That's
ever since. I mean, I
fantastic.
know you love what you do.
I do. It's like yourself, Aaron. entrepreneurs are the best demographic to work with.
Yep.
They're people who've lived the American dream, are generally honest, hardworking, a delight to work with.
Yep. And I think we need more of them out there.
Has the same philosophy as us. You know, we were talking during the break, and he was mentioning that family is first. It's very important to them and their lifestyle. And so, I mean, that's how we are. This allows you to put your family first and still have the income that you desire for the traveling and do all the other fun stuff that you get to do with your wife.
I will admit that I have blocked out afternoons more than once to watch my son play soccer, my daughter run track.
Yep.
That's awesome.
The beautiful thing of our industry.
Absolutely.
So Gregory, like, you know, let's talk to the listeners about, you know, they might own a business right now and they're like, I don't want to sell my business. Why should I be listening to this episode about how to sell your business, or, you know, why you'd sell your business? Like, can you explain maybe why somebody that has no interest right now in selling their business should be listening?
Certainly. The business that you've built is one of the larger assets generally in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And the transition of that asset from a business to a liquid asset that can help you retire and do what you want to do later in life. And I deal with, you know, primarily two demographics that sell. One is retirement sales, and the other is entrepreneurs who like creation but don't necessarily like management. So they will come to me and say, I've got it to this level. My employees are driving me nuts.
We never hear that.
And I would like to sell. And I have one client in the tech space who has built and sold 4 companies and had equity events. So I would say, if you're not planning an exit strategy for anything, then you're not thinking ahead. And it can be 1 year, it could be 3 years, it could be 10 years.
You bet.
But you got to think about converting that business asset into an asset that can take care of retirement, can be left to your family, whatever you want to do. It's painful if you don't sell that business and all your hard work doesn't get transitioned to another person.
Well, exactly. I mean, I know so many businesses that just fold up at some point, you know, like they just say, I don't even know about selling a business, right? I mean, when I owned a business back in 99, and I remember, I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I was like talking to my business partner and I was like, we need to sell this business, but how do you sell a business? And I was having this conversation on a Friday with him, and I kid you not, on Monday morning, I walked in and there was a little envelope underneath my door of my business, and it said, to the owner, confidential. And I remember I was like, what is this? And I went into my office and opened it up in private, and it said, have you ever considered selling your business? And that was when I first discovered business brokers. And a lot of businesses don't know that we're out there. That
they go to residential real estate agents that
they go to, or they shut the business down. So you allow them to get something beyond just that ownership of the business, because you'll probably agree with this, Gregory, that unless it's a really large company, you don't get rich selling your business. You just are able to get something out of it in the end, rather than just shutting it down or whatever, right? I mean, it's how do you look at it?
I always tell business owners that when you look at the success of your business, look at the capital you invested to create it. Look at the annuity you received over the years running the business.
That's huge.
That's huge.
And then you get an equity value when you sell, but you should not judge your success or failures just on that equity value at the end.
No.
You've got to look at the annuity. And I was going to, touching on what you just mentioned, and this was a transaction Aaron and I worked on together. There was a well-known floor covering company in Seattle called Vogel's Carpets. It would have been owned by multiple generations in the same family. And the son, who took over it from his father, Brad Vogel, came into my office, and he actually said, I don't know if my business can be sold.
So many people think like that. Yeah.
And I said, well, let me value it and give you an opinion of the market value, and then you can make a decision whether you want to close or sell. And in this case, he was shocked by the value of the business. We
great.
went to market, and in this case, Aaron brought a buyer who was interested in the business, and we completed a transaction. And what Aaron shared with me recently is the buyer's been successful enough that they recently bought a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing really well. He's doing
That's
really well.
Great.
So that's pretty cool. You know, and so we made two people successful in that
Right.
situation, right? I mean,
Right.
you had this guy that was looking to invest in a good business. You had a good business that he was just done owning it, right? I mean, people sell for so many different reasons. I mean, can you share with everybody like some of the other reasons why people sell?
Certainly.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'd like to know, in addition to that, is, you know, because the market's so good right now, is this a good time to sell or hold on to it? So
Great
they have
question.
two-part question here.
No, good question. So the reasons people sell businesses, the most common one in our office is retirement sales.
Okay.
And we've got a big baby boomer population that you can't stop Father Time.
Right.
At some point you need to sell. Now, for many of them, it's tough emotionally because their identity is
Yes.
tied to their
Like
business.
their baby.
Yes.
Yeah. And they enjoy talking business. They enjoy playing golf because they can talk business on the
Right.
golf course.
Right.
Sure.
And you take away.
It's like one of their kids that go off to college or something,
Yeah.
or gets married.
And
you
so
know?
we often serve as much a counselor through the process.
Oh, yeah. I listened to people cry
Yeah.
many times.
Yep.
And so that's the most common. The second most common is, as I may have touched on, is people enjoy creating
Yes.
who don't necessarily enjoy managing.
Absolutely.
Employees cause the most stress for entrepreneurs, recreating yourself.
Amen.
I got an idea
Amen.
for you. When you got a client that's not quite ready to sell, but they're just having those challenges and you want to get them ready to sell and make their business a little more valuable, you're going to refer them to the LBO Academy, because that's what we do. We
Yes.
help people that are having those challenges in their businesses. And then once their business gets really stabilized, then you can sell it for them and make a lot more money for them.
It's a great
Perfect, right?
resource.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, wonderful resource, because my firm, IBA, our reputation in the market is as salespeople.
Right.
We do not provide consulting services. We
But you also
only
don't
sell.
push someone into selling until they're ready.
Right.
That's the other
Exactly.
great thing about it.
Well, you know what? We are talking to Gregory Kovsky today. He's an expert on selling companies. If you, he has been the president of International Business Association for the last 24 years. Gregory has successfully negotiated and purchased sale over 300 privately held companies. Sorry, I'm all tongue-tied. He's like phenomenal. You can get a hold of Gregory at www.ibainc.com. And thank you. We can follow us on The Lifestyle Business Owner anytime, anywhere on Facebook and IG.
More of the Lifestyle Business Owner Show right after this, here on AM 1580. The Answer. It pays to listen. Now, back to Aaron and Mayumi Moeller on
Welcome
the Lifestyle
back.
Business Owner Show.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're talking with Gregory Kovsky. He's an expert on selling companies. He's been the president of IBA for the last 24 years, and Gregory has successfully negotiated the sale of over 300 privately held companies. You can contact him or reach out to him and his team at www.ibainc.com. That's ibainc.com. Before the break, we left off with, I had asked Gregory, why do people sell their businesses? And he had two reasons why his firm, he notices, being an expert in this industry, why people decide to sell their businesses. And what were the two again?
Certainly. So the most common client of ours is someone who's retiring and wants to convert their business asset into equity. The second most common is people who love creation,
Yes.
but don't necessarily love management, and they decide to create an exit event. And then the third most common reason is what we call distress sales. And we don't sell companies that are not profitable. These are sales where a partnership breakup is occurring, divorce is occurring. I've sold companies where death has occurred, and I represented the estate where a 50-year-old owner of a manufacturing company in Aberdeen, Washington, fell over dead while jogging.
Oh, wow.
And his children and his spouse inherited a nice manufacturing company, but none of them wanted to step in and run it.
Sure.
And so they engaged IBA on referral from their attorney, who then we facilitated the sale, and it continued successfully into the future.
Great.
It had a great general manager, so we were able to facilitate the interim until we found new ownership.
That's great.
That's
took
great.
a ton of stress off that family.
Yeah.
Like that would have been an example of somebody that would say, if they didn't know about what we do, right?
Right.
Gregory, they'd be like, well, I'm just going to shut it down.
Yeah.
The leader's gone. What do I do? Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I give their attorney credit
for
in that
referring out.
he had the resources in his Rolodex to say, let's pause and think what we do here.
Right.
And it ended up with a positive outcome.
Well, I know that, Gregory, that's a manufacturing facility that you had sold for the family. And I know that in the break we talked about that's the industry that you like to list and sell for people. You're very knowledgeable on it. But the listeners, just to let the listeners know, what kind of businesses do you sell? Like, I know you have a full team of people. How do you divvy up the business, and what types of businesses do you guys sell?
Certainly. Well, one of the fantastic parts of this business is that entrepreneurs come in all shapes, sizes, and passions.
Yep.
And so,
That's true.
We've represented women who, when there was a glass ceiling, went the road of creating a business because they couldn't climb up the corporate ladder. We've represented people from the gay and lesbian community who experienced similar things.
Right.
It was a corporate culture they didn't find receptive. So we've represented quite a spectrum of entrepreneurs, and the business types are amazing. For example, I sold one of the largest wholesale balloon distributors in the Seattle metropolitan
Wait a minute.
area.
Was it the one on 99?
It was called AZ Balloon.
Oh, I sold one too.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
And
you would never think.
I know,
that
right?
there
Those are
would be.
I love those listings.
Yeah,
those are the
love
great
that.
ones, right?
Yes. So you get companies with niches like that. We
That's
sold
great.
an environmental chemistry audit company.
Wow.
That
Wow.
would,
Love those.
like with the oil spill in the Gulf, they would audit NOAA's research about the impact of the oil spill on shrimp.
Wow.
So no one needed an outside company to verify their information. And,
That's
the
great.
private economy fills any hole that's not being served.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We always say
absolutely.
niche businesses. We always love the niche business
always
out there.
love
We
the
always
niche businesses.
try to encourage people to go in that route because it's hard to compete against the big box stores and everybody else, right? So it's nice having that niche. So let's talk a little bit about the
great.
market. So the housing market's insane right now,
Yeah,
right?
it
Everyone
is.
knows that, houses just move. Do businesses move that fast? How long does it typically take to sell a business?
Our representation agreement is for 6 months,
Okay.
which is shorter than most people in our industry. Traditionally, we sell businesses in 3 to 9 months from when they first go to market. And one of the things that differentiates IBA from some of our competition is we're paid like a realtor, 100% on commission on completion of the sale.
Yep.
So we're selective on our projects. We want to make sure they're priced appropriately and are in the boat with our client to complete the sale. One thing your audience should be aware, and especially for those people who may want to buy a business, that there's 2 distinct business models in business brokerage. There's firms like ours that are paid on commission, and then there's firms that charge administrative fees, retainers up front. And what we find is frequently, because the owner is writing a 4 or 5 figure check to get started, they want to give the business owner an answer they want to hear on value.
So much. We see that all the
We
time. A
see
lot of
it
them are
all
out
the
of
time.
state sellers,
Yeah.
out of state brokerages that do that.
Yeah.
Correct. And so you have disappointed people who have unrealistic expectations. And a percentage of the businesses we sell each year are people that have gone 1-2 years with these firms. Like Aaron said, they may be out of state, very limited, boots on the ground locally. And then they come to us and we complete the sale. and they wonder, what did I gain
Right.
from 25, 50,000 up front for information that wasn't valuable?
For them to inflate the price so that they would pay that 50,000.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of times it's like, your business
because
is worth,
they know they're going to get the 50
well,
grand.
a lot of times those same businesses might be worth $500,000 and they're telling them it's worth $1 million just to get them to list it with them, because they're thinking, $50,000, no big deal, right? So that's terrible, and I hate that those guys are out there. They give the industry a bad name when they're out there, but I don't see them quite as often anymore. Do you? Those companies?
I do periodically see them, and they are frustrating. I mean, one thing, and we've been in the trenches many times together, Aaron, that you and I both have a reputation for in the market is we will always be honest. We do not
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, you may not like what we tell you. I mean, your business may be worth $800,000 and we tell it, and for retirement or your goals, you want $1.4 million. IBA would walk away from that transaction. Where there are brokers who will take it, and ultimately it doesn't benefit the marketplace because the price is always trued up on review by the buyer's CPA and bank who may be financing the
market
deal.
will always tell you the value.
That's what we always say.
What about confidentiality? That's a big deal for everybody in business, because as a business owner, you don't want everybody to know that your business is on the market. You're not going to put a sign out there like
in residential real estate.
Are you able to keep it confidential out there for sellers?
Most certainly. You are 100% correct.
They don't want the employees to know and everyone to know.
The employees, vendors, customers, landlord, there's a spectrum that shouldn't know it's for sale. And honestly, the buyer doesn't want the public learning it's for sale. They want to do a smooth transition from seller to buyer using best practices. So we use a multiple tier confidentiality agreement process to make sure the information is only distributed to buyers that have the ability to negotiate in good faith and complete the sale.
Right.
So at what point would somebody let their employees know they're selling their business?
We generally only recommend sharing that the sale is imminent once all contingencies have been satisfied. A buyer's going to do due diligence on the business, and we encourage them to do it. That's essentially like a home inspection.
Exactly.
Where they're going to find where the dry rot is, where the issues need to be addressed, and they need to go forward with that full disclosure. They need to obtain financing. The legal documents need to be finalized. Once all those occur and there's a high probability of sale, then it's time to bring the employees into the loop. And the other reason you don't want the employees to know early is it's much more scary to have a black cloud of the sales occurring, who's going to be my new boss.
Am I going to stay? Are they going to get rid of me? I mean, there's a lot of things that the employees go through.
That they wait until the deal's done in a lot of cases, though, because even if due diligence is done, now you got these employees that might be a little bit afraid. Do you ever run into that? Or
it depends on the specific situation. If there's key employees and there's fear of employee migration as a last exit before the sale, I usually will let the buyer interview those parties because it benefits no one if there's a mass migration at time of sale. No. I mean, think of a simple example, a restaurant, a French restaurant that's known for their specialties. If the head chef walks out, you're going to lose customers quickly.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. No, that makes sense.
And why would somebody pay a business broker? Can't they just, with the internet these days, can't people just list a business and sell it online and do it themselves? Why are they going to have to pay a commission to a broker?
Certainly. It starts with business valuation, knowing the marketplace. My firm has completed over 4,000 transactions.
Okay.
So you can pick almost any industry, and we have market comparables to know where to go to market. If you've never sold a business, if you're not active in the marketplace, it's guessing on valuation. And then it's knowing the sophisticated process associated with selling, how to market it, how to facilitate negotiations, how to obtain financing. Many people try to sell businesses themselves, and frequently they fail, and then they turn to the broker and they question, why didn't I do this from the start?
Yeah.
Right.
And you definitely are one of the top ones out there for sure. I will vouch for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, if you want to get more information, you can go and to IBAINC.com. Thank you so much, Gregory, for being on the show this afternoon. Again, if you want to get a hold of him, you can reach him at IBAINC.com. Here at the Lifestyle Business Owner Academy, we're not rendering financial or legal advice. We're not telling you what you should or shouldn't do with your money or your business. We're simply telling you what we are doing personally. When we come back, we're going to start our LBO segment. That's where we talk about how to buy a business, grow your profits, and make it run without you. And make sure you follow us on the Lifestyle Business Owner Show at lboradio.com or on Facebook and Instagram. And again, you can listen to us anytime, anywhere on lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com. Gregory, thank you so much. Again, you guys, we had the expert here. If you need to know anything about selling your business, reach out to him. Thank you.
The Lifestyle Business Owner Show continues after this on AM 1580. The Answer.